Namaskar, good morning, good day. This is Suraj Singh from Bharat, India, speaking to all our friends of globe on this day of September 2nd, 2020, regarding various issues of management in engineering and engineering management and various subjects and topics related to construction and others and general life issues. This talk is routine talk and for dissemination of information to public. Purpose of this talk is to share knowledge, whatever knowledge I have based on my life experience, field experience in engineering and journal experience, and whatever is possible to be disseminated with public of this country and all other countries, so that youth and others may realize facts, and also feel serious in life about work. Though work must give happiness, but happiness comes because of seriousness and because of facts and this reality of life that I got in by writing like this. This is also fact of life. We should not discard this. We should not be slave to automatism, because automatism is good, but manual work is also very good. That we should not forget. Automatism did not come on its own. It came because of human being efforts. It came because of mind efforts. So we cannot say we should be slave to everything. Yes, life is life, we know that, and we have to move it. We have to accept facts that ultimately we may think we are advanced, but we should not forget system is already advanced. Every system exists in nature is already in advance. That is because we don't understand that. That's why for us we call it. We got it. Actually, there is nothing that is new. There is nothing that is innovative. Everything exists in nature. Only we can't look at that. We can't see that. That's only our problem. And if we can understand that problem, that's our problem, and solve it, I think nothing is impossible to be revealed in this world. It is one organ of body, and that's called mind or brain, which is very powerful if we realize that fact, and we have not to pay any tax to that for its use, not only use, its ownership, its storage, and whatever it is. We are not to pay anything to anyone for use of that. So that is the brilliance that we should understand. We may run behind wealth, we may run throughout life behind economy, behind everything, but ultimately we have to leave this world for good. And this point we understand, we know it, but we don't realize all the time, because we want to live in a speculative world. We want to live in a world. We want to live in a world, imaginative world. We want to keep a curtain before our eyes. We want to keep curtain, and that curtain is delusion. That curtain is illusion, and that curtain is that we may realize, we may not realize. It's up to everybody. I generally call work of life or life itself in engineering product. We talk of engineering, that's engineering by human, engineering by world people, but I believe in another engineering that's natural. Every day I talk little about that. COVID, I'm not talking about nothing new in COVID. It's moving, it shall move. It's moving haphazardly and it's moving strongly, and COVID is nothing new now, so we should adopt this certainly. And today maybe I'll share later on with you this soil report and FIDIC page of silver. After I think they're talking to you about this talk of engineering and soil and safety, whatever it is. Do I write many titles on my cover that I'll discuss with you general, I'll discuss with you soil, I'll discuss with you FIDIC, I'll discuss with you this and that, mind and that. Ultimately, I am mind-oriented person. I am not a fortune-oriented person because I have not seen fortune in my life. It doesn't mean that I see or I don't see, but facts are that everybody has different fortune. Everybody has sometimes good time, sometimes bad time, and this is normal. But those who sometimes see bad time, they value good time, and who never see bad time, I think they never understand good time also. That is life. This fact we should realize very strongly, that life is never constant. We use something constant and variable in our mathematics or engineering. This is constant and this is variable. You know it very well. So I think variable is stronger or constant is stronger than you can decide yourself. I have not seen any constant in my life on my own. It changes every day. It brings you something sometimes and takes from you something sometimes. So that is give and take. When you give something, you don't worry, and when you take something, don't worry also. It's neither going to stay with you nor good or not bad. You neither good nor bad. Nothing is going to stay forever. This is just transitional arrangement. Persistence doesn't exist. There's no persistency in that. When I say, somebody says, I got good luck today, and somebody says, I got good bad time today. Yes, time is same, nature is same, life is same. It's only individual that is impacted upon, because engineer relates itself to itself. I say I belong to this family, I belong to this home, I belong to this profession, I belong to that. That's my imagination, but world is beyond that. Mine, my, I. These are illusory words, illusory use, because there is no one who is I and there is no one who is we. It's nature, it's world, and this world is for everyone, and we should not quarrel with each other just for something. And I'm really surprised, spiritually speaking, physically speaking, mechanically speaking, mentally speaking, whatever you can say, as a whole speaking, world public, I can say, is mindless, conscienceless, because there are many people who want to fight with each other, many countries who want to fight with each other, many groups who want to fight with each other. They do not understand, they have no right to fight. Right to fight, who has right to fight, with what you will fight, how shall you fight, from where you find, torches to fight, where you have material to fight, you will get everything from this earth. And this earth you did not construct, you did not produce, you have no contribution towards this earth, except that you are living on this. So using this, you are a user of this earth, and you want to rule this earth, you want to kill others. And unfortunately, do some country and think this is my enemy country, that country this is my enemy country, and actually we are enemy of none and we are friends of none. We are all travelers here on this train that's called earth, or on this flight that's called earth. This is a transitional time. Maybe we don't know which planet we shall move after that, or where shall we go. Nobody knows that. We don't have ticket. Our body does not have a soul. May be having ticket. Soul may know better than this. That's why I say the soul can't be seen. It can't be felt. And we have souls. Everybody has souls. But we believe in body, not in soul. And body is purely temporary. It's just temporary, accidental. You can say it's accidental arrangement. We got in this body for few decades, and we then stand all that all time. So I want to make future, I want to make this, I want to make that. Everybody speaks that. The fact remains that it's zero, it's null and void. It's null and void. We all are relatively, linked to each other, and we are living in a relative world. We don't know what's origin. And origin is there, we can see, but we don't believe that. We just try to divert from that. When I talk of engineering involves everything. It means when you link, real engineering means we have to link our mind to that. Engineering means mind, nothing else. Engineer value means it's mental value. No engineer can work by soul, no engineer can work by conscious. Engineer has to work by calculations. He has to calculate, that only can be called engineer. Who can just design can be called engineers, just execute works can be called engineer. And those are engineers who really use mind and hard work on that. And those are not engineers who do not use minds. That's the difference of that. Engineer means a leader, initiator, originator, self-motivated, thinking of goal, thinking of improvement, thinking of changes, thinking of everything others cannot think. That's what engineer is. Engineer means who can think of every time something new, who can evolve new ideas, who can think to change what's existing one, and existing one changes means then another existing one changes. Changes means engineering. Engineer means changer, improver, reformer. That is engineer. It may be society reformer, or it may be development reformer, or it may be something green work or brown work, depending on your capacity. When I talk of engineering, it doesn't mean engineering in branches only, or engineering which is organized. It means life itself is engineering, if you try to understand that. That's what we have. We don't understand. We have body, we have a thing. We don't respect that. We respect that when you die, somebody else, oh, there was this person here. This body is not given any value after that, once you die. People don't even want to wait few hours, a couple of hours, before you are cremated in, or you are, graved in, funeral in. What I am saying is, this body is so temporary. It's valued until you live in this as soul. Otherwise, it has not a value more than a couple of hours. Do you try to understand this? When somebody dies, you go to see him, and people just remain, oh, come on, take him, make funeral and let's take it. They can't even wait for a day or two when that person lived for so many decades. There is no value. The scale is no minute, please. Take him quickly to graveyard or to funeral. That's what life is. I may live many decades. My soul may use this body, but this is only valuable when your soul is there. That's what I'm saying. You are valuable only when you have engineering soul, not simple soul. If your engineering soul is in mind, and your mind should be that strong, your mind should be valuable. Engineer's face value has nothing. Engineer's mind value has everything. Engineer is known by mind. Engineer is known by actions. Engineer is known by improvement. Engineer is known by change. Engineer is agent of reforming, agent of change, agent of doing something which others cannot think of even. That's what engineer is about. This definition of engineer, every day I define something. I don't believe in what's given on papers. I cannot find something specific on the internet even. I try to find additional definition of engineering. I try to search engineer. I did not find anything else. This means whatever is written by ordinary people, those people who think maybe they know more than I explained to you, but I could not find any writing on internet about what real engineering is. They only understand professional engineering. They only understand chartered engineering. They do not understand what real means. Who constructed this world? I say again and again. Who built system again and again? Such a perfect system never fails, never stops, never halts. And if it halts means result of that. The system continues to move, continues to work. Even a fraction of a second doesn't stop. This means that's called perfection and automation. What automation we are doing? Oh, we have automated everything. We are working automatism. We have plant is automatism. We are living in digital world. You can't understand your soul. How can you do in digital world? That's my suggestion to you. My objection to you as well. That you do not understand value of soul. I'm not talking of spiritual guru or something. I'm not interested in that foolishness. Just to believe in something because somebody says. I want logic. I want justification, I want evidence. If that is there, tell me and talk to me. And if there is nothing, then don't waste my time, don't waste public time. You can understand soul only by yourself. Just like you can understand electricity supply when you use appliances. So when my body is my appliance, my work is my appliance, if I can do something for improvement, that is engineering. It doesn't come in, not necessarily should come from whatever is written or whatever formula is written. It can come on its own need also. When I do something and it's working, it works, so that's engineering. When I think something, I try to make it physical, and it is, that's something. When I view something in my mind, that's called dream. I reflect that dream on a paper, and then it's done practically. That is engineering. That's intuition-based engineering, occult-based engineering. Occult and intuition are very, very important. These are important. If you pull them to paper and work, and just keep in your mind, it's got nothing. You can write something, later on you can tell someone the same thing as you are speaking or some narrating of some poem or story. It's not that. So engineering is very big world, it's whole world, it's world of God, I can say. Engineering is world of God, medical science is world of God. These are God's professions, real professions. And all other professions are dependent on each other. Without engineering, factories cannot work, industries cannot work, whole world productions cannot come in, and without medical science, people cannot live healthy. So health and wealth are important. If you want to create wealth in physical terms, then engineering is important. If you want to create assets, engineering is important. If you are using natural resources to optimum use or best use, engineering is important, and that engineering is always new. Engineering is never stagnant. Engineering moves on and on every day. All materials do not remain in the same state next day. Radioactivity works on every material. This is law of nature. Radioactivity continues to work on each material, and materials' structure never remains same. Materials' properties and attributes never remain same. They do not remain constant, they keep on changing and changing. This we studied in atomic physics or material physics, you can say. Modern sciences, modern physics. We studied that. And if you don't study that, no problem. You try to understand everything. There is a change. Everything new one. Everything you refresh. You refresh morning and feel different. When you go to night, you feel different. That's what it is. Means it depends upon what pleases you, what doesn't please you. Means it's like that. You get up in the morning, you're completely fresh. The environment may not be fresh, but you feel fresh. Because there's a feeling inside, I'm getting up. You want to sleep, but even then you get up and you let the night you go to sleep. Oh, I have my day, so I'm going to relax, and you feel better. Then you get up. Well, engineering, it's not my definition actually. I'm trying to explain what should it be. When I look at nature, I find myself different. When I keep off from nature, I feel regularly. When I feel a part of nature, I feel happy. When I feel I'm not a part of nature, I feel upset. Because nature is my integrated part. I am also integrated part of nature until I am here. Or I will be somewhere after all, even post I will be somewhere. You cannot know that now, but that is something. I try to analyze in my dreams. I don't like it. Because analysis ultimately, it may be dream or it may not be dream, it may be world. Analysis is first educational part. If you can analyze something, you can improve your life, you can improve everything. And those who say, no, God will help us. Yes, God shall help you if you help yourself. You do not want to do anything on your own, and you say God will help us, then you are living in doldrum, you are living in darkness. Because God is already with you, which you cannot realize. This fact must be realized, and particularly engineers who think a lot, engineers who do a lot, you think they can do themselves? Can an engineer do hard work on its own? It's not possible. There is some power. First of all, that power made you engineer. You try to understand that you did not make engineer yourself. When you studied day and night, which power stayed with you? That power of God stayed with you. That supported you, that refresh your mind, that refresh your memory, and means God has been there. Since means God shall help you, it is helping you, it shall be helping you if you want help, positive help. truth-based help, not cheating help. So God always helps you. I feel so, and I don't only feel, I accept this, I mean it. If God does not help you, you cannot do anything. And engineering means God. Engineering means God, medical means God. Because mind is God. God stays in my mind, God stays in my soul. My soul makes my body, my soul rules my body, and my soul is related to my all parts of body and controlled by my mind, and mind is controller of this body, and mind uses soul, and mind uses this hard disk or this computer on top, and this computer tells me everything what I have to do and what I do not have to do. But even if I know I do not have to do, even then also I do. The I do from research point of view, okay, I see if I do like this, what shall happen? It is same thing as negative power or power and minus signs. Though it is negative, people don't like it, but we forget that reality is negative. We are living, we are made of particles which are negative. We are made of certain particles. Even soil is made of particles, such electrons which are negative in power. So negative is very important from engineering viewpoint. I am not talking of medical viewpoint here. It's engineering viewpoint. Without engineering, without negative value, engineering cannot work. Radioactivity is counted in negative. All electronic values, all electronic measurements are done negative value. Even this COVID particle is being considered negative. This is like negative. It says particle size is 0.0000 such and such and such. So that is equivalent to negative. Because you cannot see that, you cannot measure that. And there are so many such values which are negative but which are power of engineering, which generates formula in engineering. And those engineering formula which are positive, that they were never positive, they became positive because of negative. And people say, don't be negative. I say, yes, you're right. Don't be negative in physical way, but think in negative also when you think of positive, because positive you cannot understand until you understand negative. You cannot use material until you don't know what is its negative power. Negative power is an energy which is in other direction. Positive power energy is very small. Your soul is very powerful because this invisible, and invisible is negative. Visible is not negative. This mundane world is not negative. This is positive. But real world is negative. This is what I understand. As an engineer, I include engineering calculations on this. I tried many calculations in my life and I got successful answers. Research says that, everybody says that. And I also support that. I cannot say because I am not the originator or exponent of that. I'm just a user of that. So what I say, my definition of engineering is entirely different. Though it leads to engineering itself, it strengthens my engineering applications. When I think I am writing something or speaking something or reading something, I understand in a better way that I could not understand before. You may say it's repetition or maturity or life experience or whatever you can say, or whatever it is. You must have capacity, you must have strength, you must have stamina, you must digest that. It's not simply, oh, I feel bored. If you feel bored, you are not engineer. Because engineering means bored. Work is always boring. Work is not entertainment. Work is not sports. Work is responsibility. Work is production. Work means calculation. Work is something that you cannot say, I will enjoy this. You must enjoy this. You have a right to enjoy this, not your duty. Your right, and you have duty to enjoy it. You feel, yes, if you work honestly, sincerely, using mind, I can assure you, I can guarantee you will feel happy. You will enjoy it internally, not externally. Externally, showing your face, happy face, dancing, that is very temporary, that is momentary. But when you really enjoy in your mind, You will be enjoying your sleep, your dreams, and you will be enjoying everything. Yes, your stamina has gone to your mental state, it's not gone to your other state. You are a powerful person at that time when you enjoy your mental capacity. That is very strong time. You should realize that time. That time you cannot find elsewhere. Yes, that doesn't give you money, but money is not everything in life. That's one part of life. Can money save your death? It cannot save your death. It's only a support. So I know that I have to leave this world. You also know you have to leave this world. But we do not care for that. And this, you can say, risk factor I count as my death shall also be a risk factor for me. So I have to consider that risk. At this moment, every day, every moment, every time, I should consider that death is my risk. And then I have to think on that. Means sometimes, wealth is so heavy on our mind, physical assets are so heavy on our mind that we just want that, intend to get that by hook or by crook. We do that. Means I should get this. Howsoever I get it, I don't know. That is called nervous state. This is no goal. This is no destiny. This is no target. Because you just want to get something which is not yours. It will be yours only when you think to do everything and get it. Just don't want to get it because you want to get it. You can go to temple to demand, you can go to mosque to demand. You think I am going to God give me this. I will not come to you. That sense is not required. You can achieve God. What is something? Nothing. You achieve God, you receive God. More than else, what do you want? Yeah, you have that power if you can get that power, which is the honor of every power. What else you want? What is material? What is house? What is information? Nothing. Try to have that capacity. It is not a spiritual talk. It is real talk. This world is yours. Only difference is you cannot own it, but it is yours because you are using it. You are using it. Nobody can stop you if you are using. You are using whatever is available in us, and everybody is using. So why should I worry about this? Yes, we have to maintain ourselves. For that we need something. But hunger of that is not enough. Hunger for wealth, hunger for money, always is dangerous. Always dangerous. You can take example of any world, in history, any country, any leader in history, whosoever did that for power or for wealth, all have gone. No one is there. Because they forgot they had to go. They forgot. And we forgot also that we have to go. That's why we go oppose principles of law, principles of nature. And engineering doesn't permit that, because engineering says no, you have to complete process of development, you have to complete process of production, you have to complete process of quality. Quality, we define quality, but it's already there. Quality exists in nature. System exists in nature. Nature is working not because of myself and yourself. It's working because of its own. There's some power behind that. There's some software behind that which is moving it and which never deviates from its path. It has its own system, its own roots on which it works. That is the engineering part of nature. Nature engineered that, God engineered. Nature and God form the same, or God, when I say, it's every power of this universe that makes it, that breaks it, and then maintains it. I am talking of that. I am not physical religionist. I don't say my religion is that or my religion is, because God is my religion. This world is my religion. I am dependent on this world. I am dependent on this body. I am dependent on this soul. Only then I can exist. If these do not help me, I cannot live in this world. Living is your right. You are living till you are here. Nobody can take you out. But that doesn't mean you claim it. You cannot claim it. So my dear friends, when I say engineering, for me engineering is very extended. very, very extended, expanded, and we should think as that way. We can learn this from materials, we can learn from this material sciences, we can learn this from arrangements of material, and we can learn this from very, very applications of engineering. Learning has no limit. I am not bound by books because books are limited. If I read 50, 60 books of engineering, it doesn't give me engineering impact. It doesn't give me engineering. Until I experience, I use that. I can learn anything from book. Okay, I have read so many books, I have understood. I can find something and answer that. Question comes and I get pass. Or even after that I do that, I get pass, no problem. But when I do physically, I experience difficulties in that process. I experience what problems we will face, and I experience that what we learn is exactly not same what we do. There's a difference of reach, there's a difference of access, there's a difference of doing. It's just like that when we say this is my excavation line, we make some excavation plan, but when we actually go to site, we do not find exactly same line. It's not possible that we say, oh no, I planned it in a straight line and vertical straight. It should be that. That's only on papers. It's vertically straight, it's horizontally straight. It's like that. That only is imagination. It's never practically possible. We do so much, we think so much in very much theoretical and idealistic conduct, but in fact that is not same in life. Life is different. You might have seen electrical some circuit sometime, this connected to this connected to that, the complete straight line and all this process diagram they will make. But when in reality they do, you will find this is lying here and this is lying here. Oh, that is in cross shape, but that's in. You will not understand a mesh of cables as well. But in sketches, no. In circuits, that's the differences. Means theoretical work and practical work are completely different, entirely different. But theory is same, idea is same, back is same. That's what we say. Process is complicated, theory is not complicated. Theory clearly says this is formula, simple. WL square over 8 is formula for simply supported bending moment. But is there bending moment? Is there simply support? That's question mark. How many structures are simply supported? That becomes a question mark. So we have to sectionalize, dissect this. This is this. We always say in this section here, we say this is a plan here. Because I can't explain to you, how should I explain to you? Either I have to explain to you elevations, that is only superficial. If I want to explain to you something, how shall we do it inside? Then we have to show sections at that point. Oh, this is section A, this is BB, and you will get in this section, this line, this is sketch. So you can understand internal arrangement. That is what is engineering. Means engineering can take you into sections. Means detailed engineering. We can give you details before constructing that detail. And that is what capacity of engineering is. This is capacity of engineering that engineer can imagine. Engineer can give something which is not done. We will do this way and it is done. Fact is that what is thought of is created. This is engineering. And that's why I say think and deliver. I say every day, think and deliver. THINK, think, and DLIVER, deliver. But you may say, oh, this is very ordinary word. Think, everybody thinks. What name is telling? I am telling thinking. This thinking is not ordinary thinking. This is not that you says thinking. Your thinking is formula based. You say, okay, I can think, I'm a thinker. But you are not a thinker. What thought you made in your life? How many collections you have about thinking? Can you write 10? Can you write 10 collections of thinking? You can't even write one. Because you never do. If you think about food, if you think about game, if you think about something, that's not thinking. That is not thinking. Thinking is for something you do not know. That is thinking. Which you know, how can you say? You are just understanding that further and further. That's not thinking. Thinking is to do something unknown to you even, which you even don't know. And you think about that's purpose of thinking. Think, P-H-I-N-K. Remove K, so what it is? T-H-I-N, thin. And what is thin? Narrow. Thin means very small, not very thick, very small, thin. And what is thin? Micron is thin. If you wear what is thin? That so small size is thin, which you cannot see using your eyes. You have to use microscope or electron microscope or more than electron microscope. You cannot see it even then. That is thin. And thin is very useful sometimes. It's much more useful than solid, the thick. Thick is taken in wrong sense. Do you know that? It's taken sometimes in wrong sense, and thin is taken in beautiful sense. Why? What is saying? This person is having very thick skin. This doesn't affect this. This person won't do anything. Oh, very thick skinned person. Say that. This is like abuse, This is, formal etiquette based, criticism. Thick. This person is very thick. This person is thick in the skin. This person is such. This person is that. We always say that. And that is really very, very much surprising. You can say very, very much surprising. We don't like that, but we use that word. Howsoever, I would say that injuring, why I talk, I don't understand myself sometimes. I keep on talking like that, but it is reasonable, Engineer, when I used to learn, when I started my engineering studies, I did not know what engineering was, really. Because of course I had no ambition to become an engineer, never. I never thought that engineer is something. My father induced in me something, some element, then somebody else did. My mother didn't understand what this talking of. So it depends on means what is your background. My background is very zero, you can say, very zero, negative. I could not know what life was. I could not know how this money is coming and going. I could not understand anything about life. What is this process? But after you know something, you can, means I had a capacity to think, but I was not having the resources. I was busy in making those resources so that I could survive. So forget engineering degree or forget something. I was not in a capacity even to pass my schooling according to my economy that time. I still remember that when I joined my school, when I joined this, means sometime I didn't have any money in my pocket even to go by bus. So I used to walk sometime. Means that's what life is about. And I'm not just explaining it because I say I achieved something. No, it's not achievement. I don't believe in achievement. I believe in giving. Why achieve? Whatever you have, you give to others. If you can give to others, if they can use that, that's just fine. And that's what life is about. What for? Thanks, okay. Thanks. So, what I mean to say is that I try to understand gradually looking at world, watching what people do, what people think, what's lifestyle of people, and when I interacted with other nations, other citizens, other national citizens, so I try to know more and more about how people conduct, how people go, how they make. So I found a lot of differences, what I understood and what it is. But they all had one ambition, to work and to make money. That is very general ambition in 99% people. Hardly 1% people are there who of course want money, but they want something else as well. Money is secondary to them. To them is means to get something, to know something. To very few people are there. You can be a part of God if you are means your conduct is free of greed, free of avarice, and you are not a collector of wealth but a collector of wisdom, collector of something that God gives you. Because God cannot give this precise belonging to everybody. God knows that this person is reliable, only then only can God give, otherwise cannot. Just like your parent give you responsibility, they give responsibility to best kid, not to every kid. Father or mother, they evaluate their child also, their children also, how my children are. Okay, this children is not responsible. They know very well. This children, my child is responsible. This child is not responsible. More than parent, nobody knows it, because parent knows from very beginning that this can do, this cannot do. That's very nice, no. So my answer is that we should be like that, and we our everybody's parent, original parent is God. That point we should remember, and we cannot go against that. And if we go against that, means we won't find anything except that we break ourselves, because we are nothing in fact. We think we are everything. Those who think that we are everything, their mindset is existing zero, because they do not do anything themselves. Forget belonging, forget ownership. Even now I am speaking to you. It's not that I am speaking. I am only announcing mic. You can say mic or loudspeaker. I am only that. Power behind it is someone else, and that does it. That records, pre-records is what does it, I don't know. Maybe it's live or it is recorded one. It depends upon that power. I have not even understood it yet. I talk engineer, I talk engineering, I talk define engineering, but sometimes I feel happy that I did some small activities in my life about engineering. Means on many projects, not very big projects, but reasonably good. And I learned something from there. I learned something from university, from college, from school, from experience, and those all I experienced that. If you don't enjoy from that, you cannot enjoy. If I feel my subjects are very bad, it's not giving me a good package, means if I keep that in mind, then I waste my time. You can say I shall waste my time. If I always do that, then I waste my time. Wasting time is very easy. You can waste time, but remember, time will never wait for you. Time never thinks of you. You have to use it. Time is that power. It's like something flowing in your around and you do not use it. There is sun. If you don't want to go to sun will not come to your room or to you. You have to use that. And similarly, air, if you don't use, you will suffer. It's like that. You have to do something. You have to act over when it's valuable. If you want to have vitamin D, or if you want to have certain chemicals in your body, you want to heat up, you have to go to sun and you use it. It is not charging anything. It will not send any bill to you for payment. Air is not charging you. These points to keep in mind. There are so many powerful agencies God has provided that do not demand anything from you. Air or sun or sea of water or rain, sky, do they demand anything from you? No, they never demand something. They only give. And I am not able to take that freedom also. If I can't walk in sun, just 10 minutes, I feel tired. Oh, it's very hot. Oh, it's very cold. Oh, it's flood comes rain. I can't stand rain for 10 minutes. That your body doesn't feel pleased with that, or you don't use that because of some unknown reasons. You also don't know. You want to use umbrella. Okay, umbrella is a protection. You are protecting from whom? You also don't know. You are protecting your clothes, so my clothes should not get wet, my hair should not be wet. Like that, only from that aspect, you want to run away from rain, or you want to run away from sun. It's very hard, my sweating. When you don't accept sweating, that's what I'm saying. You have to analyze your life. You are getting so much free. They are not charging vitamin D, as I said, and also ultraviolet rays. Oh, it's against body's mechanism, but it's like medicine. You take medicine. You go to doctor or to hospital, get medicine. Oh, if you get this injection, this medicine, I'll get you. You'll get better. So already medicine is available. No need of syringe. You stand in sun for 10 minutes in hot sun. Your body shall have to test it, checked out. When I say like this, people say, well, I used it. I am a civil engineer. I was most of time on open side. And now know when I sit in the office, how do I feel? And when I go to site, how do I feel? You see these laborers or workers whom we call workers, they're always happy. Yes, their clothes may be dirty, their faces may be dusty, they may not look good, they may not be polished one like you, but they are better in thinking, they're better in health, they sleep without any tension. Can you? Because they do engineering work. They do something solid. They, even for 1 minute, they don't waste. If they work full time, they work something. Every day I have done this. You think they don't feel happy? They also feel happy. Yes, not because of money they feel happy. They happy because they did something useful. So I also feel happy. Oh, my workers have done this much. It's me. I will, okay, my team has done this. Because my contribution also there. I was with them for so many hours, or my supervisor was there, or someone was there, or I directed them to do this, or I instructed them to do this. That is real. That is where happiness lies. I know that I would got only fixed money. Money is not criteria there. Yes, it would come. When you work, it will naturally it will come. It shall come, nobody will stop that. But question is, when we say I have done it, a kind of highest degree of pleasure comes in you, and that pleasure only you know. Or you tell us, so today we did this. You tell him because you are trying to exhale your happiness. You cannot digest also that. Because you try to share with someone because you could not digest it fully. So it's okay. Oh, I did this. Then it's okay. Congratulations. That ultimately what that will say, oh, that person is not getting anything. Oh, maybe a person jealous where I tell him that. Okay, happy, good, very good, very keep up. Right. Engineering is done. That's it. What does it mean? Done. Do it. In quality, and also in safety. Safety means safety is physical protection, but quality is it can be said physical as well as ethics and also moral. Quality is a combination of all criteria, every criteria. Quality does not mean quality. What do you think? Quality means a degree of sincerity is in you, a degree of commitment is in you, and a degree that I should do something for this because this material should be used in optimum way, in best possible way. In that case, you like material, you like material's value. You study material, I studied this material, I studied this material, I studied this material. You always say that I studied how this conduct, this material, what's property of this material, what's best in this material, how it can be used best to work. All that you as engineer think so. And if you say no, I have to just do it, give me something, this means your engineering coefficient inside you is limited one. It doesn't want you to do more than what you are doing, and you feel happy because of limited work, but you cannot move further. Because if you do not take more responsibility, if you do not subject yourself to additional changes, then you cannot move forward. So when I say engineering, I try to explain to all, engineering is not actually what we think. That is engineering profession only. But engineering is different. Engineering is use of mind, and use your mind everywhere, daily from morning till evening. Use mind in many activities, and all those activities are sometimes social, sometimes national, sometimes your personal. These activities are all different, and those activities are respected one. But if those are specific activities which are only meant for your work, only meant for you, for your work. That's where I say about. Because work is worship, I understand. There's no other worship than work. There is no other religion than profession. There is nothing else. I consider whenever you do your work, it should be done better than you pray. When you pray some God in whatever religion, you are emotional at that time, you are sentimental at that time, you are not realistic, you are not real person, you are a person with belief and with faith. That's different world. Whatever for a couple of minutes or a day or hours you do that, you feel after yes I am fresh, I am okay. Whatever you are threatened, whatever your negativism was in your body, for some moment it goes away, but you are not refreshed actually. Physically you may be refreshed, but one hand, oh I did not do anything, I only wasted God, and you do nothing and go to God every day. Oh God, see I have done this, I could not get any benefit. Give me some benefit. This is general demand of 98% people who visit religious places, and those who are 2% only, they never demand anything from God. Because they say God knows what my schedule is. It depends upon your own thinking. God cannot be isolated from you, and you cannot be isolated from God. That is best known principle of nature. Because you are here as a part of nature, you are a product of nature, you are not isolated from that. You are not made of steel or some metal or some chemical composition. You are made by God, and God made you from its own soul, from its own material which it has, and whatever procedure God adopted for that. You know that all procedure, how generation is done. So my statement of engineering is that do not be limited to theoretical knowledge only. Do not be limited to thinking that I have this much degree, that much title of degree, and my job is only to do this. Expose yourself to every activity, because every activity in engineering is very important. My stress always goes to importance of engineering. Engineering itself is sacrificial business, sacrificial activity. As an individual, as a group personal, or whatever team owner or team leader, whatever you may be, you have certain responsibility, and that responsibility cannot be measured to your salary. Your salary is different criteria, your title is also different criteria, but your in contribution or lust to contribute, that is more important. If you have a desire to contribute, no one can stop anyone. And if you contribute, do not take ownership of that. Think that you serve society in service of that power. Because whatever you use on that, that's not yours, and that's not only for that person who uses it. It's ultimately God who is responsible for this. So what I say is that engineering is very wider application. It cannot be constrained to dictionary meaning. Engineer, when you call it, this means work activity of genius, work of genius. So when you are genius, really be genius. Don't be tied up by something. Yes, essential is that you share a qualification academics, but that is limited one. And if you don't practice that, even if you have a chance, okay, you don't have chance, that is different matter. But when you have chance, then you should be very good to that chance. Not in interest of that person who employed you, but interest of your own soul, your own self, that you are doing for yourself. Maybe my talks may not appear convincing to you, but the freedom is that why I am saying this, because there is something absent, something is absenting in my country and also in many other countries I was sitting. I just want to say that you should change conduct, and and you see, if you are tight with work, you are tight with your approach, you can change this country. This country is changed, but not to that extent should have been, because we all started average status. We all started, okay, I want this first, and I want this first, and I want that first. But you forgot that, but you have to give to this world back to it. So that's the point, essence. This point is very, very important, and I think we should be very careful about that. And And I think that this is definition of engineering and technical work. When you say technology is considered as engineering activity, but technology means something which can be seen as done. That is technology. Technology is not hidden. Technology now is everything is technology. Oh, this is new technology. Everything people start calling. Oh, this is technology. What can I say? Technology is there. You cannot say how it is possible. Technology, and you cannot say that's not possible. Technology possible means what you know and what you can do. So you can say for that. Technology is not in the air. It's now technology means which is proven. It works. That is technology. Works or continues in sequence. Ultimately, is a part of work. The part of sequence. That's technology. So technology is realistic. It's not imaginative, but it should be quality realistic. It should be quality. Sometimes, some people give quality, that's nice. And sometimes all people minus some people do not give quality. All people minus someone do not give quality. That is really unfortunate. And that's what I have observed. I observed that our people, see, first of all, I'm not criticizing this. If there's a criticism of quality, I'll feel happy. If at least work we are doing, it should be quality work. If you don't want to put quality, there's no meaning at all in working. Quality is a part of work. Quality is a part of product. If you say, I have done so many, I have produced this, means quality must be within. And if your quality is absent, then you are, you don't know what is. You just, you are like a person who does something without understanding that. Did you do that? When person comes out of university, every person comes out of university after passing engineering, and that person means you cannot say that person must have something in that. It is understood. If you are a doctor coming out of university, you have a capacity. It's understood. It's believed, or you can say it is legally understood that you can treat patients. You know that job. And supplies also to engineers, not because of your face, but because of your passing out, that you can do this. This is expected. This is meaning of your certificate. And if you cannot do that, this means you failed, you did not pass. This is another test in life. Yes, your certificate claims that you passed it, but your work does not claim that. Your work has to prove it. In university, your work is not examined, only your papers are examined, your viva is examined, your thesis is examined, which is under guidance of professor, but your work is not examined. Work is never done under guidance of professor. Work is done either under your seniors or yourself. That is work. So work is a responsible quantity, work is responsible item, and if you do not take responsibility of this, then it's not your work. You did not do your own. Somebody else guided you and then you do it. So when we say this person must have a responsible position, that person must have that position, where it's that person's responsibility to make decisions. If you work on the made decisions, delivered decisions, then you are not independent. You are dependent upon those decisions taken by others, and those others become your seniors. So when you are out from college and you claim that you are an engineer, then you should know engineering also. That's what I'm saying. If you do not know engineering in fact, you just live in some, you can say, ineligible world, where you just think you have done something, while you have not done anything. So engineering is that. Do it. Did your professor explain to you what engineering was? When you got admission to university, did someone tell you what does engineering mean? Nobody told you what is engineering, but you got started. in whatever university you are there, you started, oh, this is reality. This means you are not given roots of what you should be. Just learning subjects, and sometimes we do not even understand what we learn, why we learn that. No teacher explains to you why you have to learn these subjects, what is reason. Neither student asked nor professors replied. Why should they reply if there is no system they can themselves say, okay, I will teach you something about field, give me time or come to me. How many teachers say that? No one. Because there is a deficiency existing. And that's why I'm saying, when I'm saying engineering, this engineering doesn't mean profession of engineering, this means engineering of life itself. Engineering work. If I am an engineer, I should understand life of engineering first. I have to understand what is human engineering, what is machines engineering, and how we conduct with people, how people conduct with us, what we expect of them, what they expect of us. All that remains part of engineering. It is, when we say that we have to learn how to deal with workers. It's not engineering part, but it's more than engineering, because conduct to know about your workers is very important. If you know, they'll say, okay, you of course skip from that, but that's also impossible that you remember or you understand whatever you say, that responsibility is. That responsibility is important rather than claiming everything, I did this, I did that. I am talking in very, very different position, very different mode today, because I have to, after this video of 2 hours, I will jump on to other files. Screen share, I think today program like this, so there will be 2 videos rather than 1, because when I thought to start, actually I did not formally decide to share videos, but when I realized that I write a lot even on Facebook or on other social forums, writing takes a lot of time, and sometimes you miss also what you have to write, because mind is that fast sometimes. It goes on very fast, and we can't control it. That's power of mind. But when you write something, it's not actually, you think that sometimes you feel that you have written that. When you are thinking and you are writing, both are same. You are thinking and writing, means you are doing mental work and you are doing writing work both. You are thinking and you are writing. So what happens sometimes? Your mind says you have written it because you thought it. Yes, you have written in mind, but you have not written paper. That mind can't see that you have written paper. And you decide, okay, I have written this, and you write next word on this. So you thought you written this. But when you review it, and you have to review many times, then sometimes you have to change so many sentences, and you have to say, again you take second time, third time, and fourth time. And this goes on like that, because that is only imaginary entry of that home where you are sitting in your home. That's not realistic. So you are realistic in receiving this now, but you are not realistic in understanding it now. So when I used to do that, I used to write on Facebook or somewhere else, and I thought people were not very attentive. I thought Bharat is very big and there must be many people who want to read all this. But result is different, maybe it's not that. And therefore my writing is also limited these days. For last I think 1.5 months, I started somewhere in January or February 2019, just to make videos for dissemination of knowledge, or political issues, or social issues, or other issues, and educational issues, health issues like that. I started to share my knowledge with others. So how to share, that was a question mark. And then YouTube is there, of course, but YouTube is not that freely allowing you to write and paste something. When I write, I think writing is no use. Better make some video and post it, or directly go on live and do it. I decided that writing got no meaning. I did not get many responses in writing. I was in a trusted school when I started my schooling. For 11 years I was there. I was in different world there. Same thing in diploma engineering, I saw different world. And of course in degree, but now I don't know what is different world meaning. I don't understand now meaning of difference actually. What difference is there? That's where we can say, that's you can say the weakness lies in. I don't understand where we are, what we are, why we are. And that's all dramatic actually, because sometimes what we do to show people. Sometimes what we do for ourselves. Sometimes we do for something else. And therefore every activity is different. Now for example, I am working with you on this video, not for purpose that I think only for service of people, but if people do not take interest, I can't force them. It doesn't mean I should not do this. I should not. Sometimes I get some response, or not it should be. This means people are not interested in such type of talks. But do I do not relate to their interest. I have to look into what I should do, what can be best. Okay, people may not be happy here. They are the world over, and maybe some people are happy, some are not happy. I can't make them happy, but I can improve my work. That's all I can do. So I used to write many hours, and then I realized that people are not even interested in reading. They, useless, it's long. I don't read that. No. Wasting his time. This man is. Misreading habit doesn't exist. It is reverse to our time. Our time is when I was young. People used to write, used to read, and they used to share that information with others also. Because of interactive life, that life was simple, facilitated, but very interactive. Interactive in the sense that people used to talk to each other about various issues, and that was social engineering actually. To be very frank, when society interacts itself without any reference, without any television show, they used to talk to each other and in groups, and they share their knowledge, and this is called social integration, social harmony. Irrespective of which caste you are, which religion you are, they talk to you. They say of course political talks, science talks are very limited. Science talks means you cannot expect people to learn science, but commerce or arts or general or political used to interact with each other. Group people, or you can say same age people, or college people, or even in social gatherings, people used to talk about this knowledge. Momentarily sometimes means hardly I've seen any function, any ceremony where such interactions are absent. But now the situation is different. Means people do not want to read, they don't want to write, or they talk as if they know everything. That's another point of view. And mostly people are educated. That's another point of view. And they everybody is just like for example, English speaking. It was understood as of though this person speaks in English, must be educated one. Speaking English was considered criteria of education. You are educated, you must know English. They realize English education rather than you may be excellent in mathematics, you may be excellent in physics and chemistry. Oh, this person does not know English. Because their concept does not go beyond that. They forget that we know English because we were ruled by those people who knows English, who are from English. If they had been French, then we would have French. If they were nothing, then we have Urdu. Means suppose there was no ruler on us. Then in those days we use Urdu or Sanskrit. It depends upon who is helping you in rule and governance. So our people were British, English society. So that's why they used to English for their own, and we got it. It doesn't happen in China. You go and see who is using English there. Because they were never ruled by British. You go to Lebanon, you go to Libya. Libya was ruled by Rome. Lebanon by used for many by France. So there is an impression of that. Now, Lebanon there's a problem, and France wants to come again just to reinstate its position. An opportunity itself is bankrupt, you want to help others. Say, which country is not bankrupt now? All countries are bankrupt financially due to COVID-19. There is not even a single country which can claim this time that we got it. Everybody says, oh, we lost it, we lost it, we lost it. This means if you yourself lost, how can you help others? You cannot help, only deceiving yourself, just doing opportunities, availing opportunity. This is a fact. So, what you say, it's God design or it's design? It's God design to teach us a lesson. Well, I don't mix up now. My concentration is on engineering and engineering related topics. Safety. Safety is very much important. I have issued many talks on safety and available are videos and writings both. Videos are there, but who is watching? Nobody watches. Film videos you put in other videos, you put in nuke videos, or you can say nudity, people don't like it. This is human tendency to means enjoy. You know, enjoy is such a dangerous word that it rubbishes away thinking. You want to rub it thinking. Enjoy comes and rubs thinking. Enjoy comes and rubs thinking. This is life. You write something on board, think it, enjoy. I think it. If this man thinks I am useless, I have no value, okay. Don't allow him think. Means this enjoy comes such a way that you forget thinking and you are involved in enjoyment. It washes your brain, it disturbs your brain, because thinking means the brain activity and enjoy means conscious heart activity, emotional activity, entertainment. Engineering is never permanent, believe me, if you do not work. Engineering terminates that day when you do not think of engineering. You don't think of something. That day it goes. It comes back if you think again. This is thinking related. And that's why we say thinking is known, it gives you something, because already there is something in you, you earn that knowledge, so thinking refines it, makes it, and adds to this, and empowers you with that knowledge, and that knowledge is knowledge until it remains with you. Otherwise, if you don't use it, it doesn't value you. If you don't use engineering formula, these formula for you are no meaning, and if you use them, then you research on them. Research in a fact, in a way that when you use some formula, you have input for those formula and you can get answer. And then you have got many answers for many inputs. So that result tells you sometime when you study or you concentrate on those results and input, that there's a sequence in them, there's a series formation, and it tells that. That's your point. It tells you something, oh yes, if this is input, that's output. So there is a sequence of results which you can correlate with each other, and that is what you can say engineering application. You are applying your knowledge and you are getting something out of that. Indicative research this is. So I read this, I find this, so that keeps in your mind, keep that in mind. Because you did that, you won't forget that. And even if you forget, you see it again, immediately it will come to your mind, how to use it, what was that, what it did, and how it got. That's what engineering is. So engineering in our field, again I say soil, material, technology, other subjects, coordination, communication, interaction, recording, supervision, right checking, or you can say proof checking, or you can say review of design, and construction delivery, electrical, mechanical, and other issues. This is what we do every day. Every project is new. Every project. New in a sense, not done before, and even if done before, its design is different. Its sizes are different, element sizes, component sizes. It's new world for you. It's new only until you understand it. And once you understand it, then you can say, oh, it's no problem, I can do it. It's no problem, I can do it. And you do too. But in doing that, you will find different questions, which are directable, which are resultable, which are, you can say, accountable. Somebody can account for them, so they explain to you that. That's required. Or otherwise, no. You only say, I was given this, I did that. When I stress on all this, I stress on something, we call it material world. Material means information is available, physical also available sometimes, though it's not very common, because you come to institution for learning, and means learning from books, not learning from experience, because you don't have any experience, so how can you learn from experience? And if somebody tells you this something about something, you don't want to listen, and because maybe that person is telling something is inferior to you in caste or in religion, so you don't value that person, and that is where foolishness lies. Why can't you value person when you can? Why don't you develop strength in them? Why say, no, I'm going. What I'm saying is, engineering is a continuation process. It's a start and end process. Many projects I did, and those projects within project itself I did. And I learned a lot from these. I'm not saying I had a mastery of that, doctorate on that, but learn a lot. Learning a lot, and because when you work something and fail, you don't forget that. That's also important. Even if you didn't pass that, you failed that, but that remains in your mind. I did that, I made this mistake. And you shall next time you think that I should avoid this mistake. And engineer does it. Because it is in the mind. I mean, see, when you do something again, it will come to mind, no, you're doing wrong. At that time, you will stay. And this happens. Because engineer is concentration. And concentration means more concentration. And it starts alerting you, it's warning you. And even then, if you are not warned, then what can I answer? That is then your weakness. You do not concentrate on something. So when I say material soil is that it is concerned, always it concentrates on you. You believe it or you don't believe it, you accept it. Soil doesn't run away from buildings' foundations. Yes, water can take it out to some extent. It can sink down or the compact or settle to some extent, but still it remains there. It does not go until you want it to go. You say, no, I want to break this building and want to make another building. So you may, in that case, say, okay, what I should do with this? You told for many days you work on that, you are angry someone to take out this and take out that, and then you go, we have cleared plot and now plot is tender. That's what I'm saying. If you want to learn concentration, if you want to learn permanence, if you want to learn stability, we have to learn from soil. We have to learn from other sources of nature. We have to learn from sea. We have to learn from river. We have to. All are different. If you want to how river moves, you know that it moves in sine curve way. It moves like this. What is that sine curve? It never flows like this, like canal. It never flows. Why? We used to learn this in irrigation engineering, or I think water resources or something. How river goes in sinusoidal curve. This is a natural flow because flow is never straight, and flow is so strong sometimes. Water flow from mountains is so strong sometimes. It reaches the highest acceleration or speed and erodes banks of rivers, erodes them. Erosion of bank of rivers, once it starts, certainly it will continue because that energy is coming, it doesn't stop, it keeps on coming and coming and coming, and that means pressure builds up, velocity is raised, and as much as velocity it erodes soft banks of, you can say, fine sand or some other sand. And it moves that direction, so it reduces its force on other direction. So what happens in some course of time, that that flow there at that point is curved, and then further other point is curved in other direction, like curve, sinusoidal curve. That curve is that, it goes like this, not straight. So that what just said, that it goes into this direction and that this direction, then that direction, and that's what we call sinusoidal curve. River acts like this, but canal is artificial one. Canal does not act like that. It depends upon how you accept something. You want to respect nature, or you want to no, this nature has not done this, I want to make it temple. No, it depends. So soil, when soil is there, it has many functions. At that function we should understand very well. Soil and quality, soil is material, and quality is also some material, because quality tells us we have to ensure this material is right, this procedure is right, and this item is right. That's what quality says. Each item is important for quality, each action is important for quality, because quality doesn't mean only work you have to see. You have to see the work is done right and work is designed right. Quality of design, quality of work, quality of whatever you think are very important criteria for us. And when I say soil, as I said yesterday, we read soil, we understand soil, we have to, like all other materials, you have to understand soil is again very good material. For me at least, if not for you, I give different value to soil, not as you think. So soil is soil, it has no material value, but it has moral value. Without soil, you are nowhere. Even if in where you are sitting now, you are directly or indirectly sitting somewhere in soil, and that is soil. So what we did yesterday, I think I was doing this. We did about homogeneous soil, about saturated soil, about one-dimensional drainage, and then negligible compressibility of soil. So there were so many, these points which you can say that following simplifying assumptions have been made by Karjagi while developing mathematical statements of process of consolidation. And this is consolidation limits, means there are so many limits we read yesterday about this, and I just reminding that the homogeneous soil is always assumed that soil is homogeneous, but in reality it is not. And also that saturated soil, it was assumed that soil is saturated, but in fact it is not. In laboratory conditions it is saturated. That's true, because it's saturated artificially, but in real condition, in field condition, it is seldom possible to get 100% saturated soil. And similarly, in one-dimensional drainage, it is assumed that drainage and consolidation is one-dimensional. It is also true in laboratory, not in real life. So consolidation apparatus is constructed to ensure that, as this assumption is not fulfilled. So like that we studied, it can be serious, especially for companies to delay start on their point of application of load. So what it says that it is assumed that drainage and conditions is one-dimensional. This is true in laboratory conditions, because condition appears is constructed to ensure that but if this assumption is not fulfilled in field conditions, and it can be serious, serious, especially for compression of place instead of near point of application of load, which does not extend over a wide area. For example, it was found for a particular field that rate of consolidation from both vertical and horizontal drainage was approximately 3 times what would be expected according to theory based on vertical drainage only. And negligible compressibility of soil grains and water, we assume that. And also action of infinitesimal masses are not different from that of layer of representative masses. And soil is it's literally confined. Soil is literally confined. This condition is true in laboratory, but it's not always true in field conditions. And Darcy's law is valid in the assumptions and constant values for certain soil properties remain constant. This only partially true because values actually vary somewhat with pressure. And you see that coefficient of permeability is constant during process, and time lag of consolidation is entirely due to low permeability of soil. Change in negative change in effective pressure in soil could causes corresponding changes in void ratio, and changes in thickness of layer during consolidation is insignificant. So these assumptions indicate that Terjagi's consolidation theory is not exact. In fact, for some problems it may be only a rough approximation. There are theories available which are more precise, but their complexities restrict their way use to small fraction of use which Terjagi's theory receives. In spite of unfulfilled assumptions in Terjagi's theory, reasonably good predictions of settlement can usually be made from results of carefully run laboratory tests. Better predictions can naturally be made for those cases which have conditions more closely agreeing with assumptions made in derivation of theory. So derivation of theory of consolidation, now we are talking derivation of theory of consolidation. So derivation of theory of consolidation, in which let's consider saturated element of soil having dimensional dx, dy and dz. This is again we are going to calculus dx, dy and dz, and only vertical drainage is possible. We assume that permeability along z axis is maximum, may say hz, and permeability along other two directions k by 8 kz is 0. This is one assumption, and this is sketch here. You may see that the sketch is here about that. You can see that also available in book. Maybe in your book it is available. That's what is shown here. I'll talk on that now. Now it says that axes are taken through middle point of element O. This is A, B. This is Z direction, this is X direction, this is Y direction, and X direction here, Y direction here, and Z direction here. So Z is vertical here, let's say Z dash Z. O is center of this. O, you say that O is center of this element O, and magnitude of Z is here. Is positive downwards. Hydraulic gradient is equal to now delta H, change delta H to Z. H is height. Okay. So hydraulic gradient is this. Minus sign denotes that gradient decreases as Z increases. As Z increases, gradient decreases. This is presumed so that flow of water will take place downwards. Alright, IA and this IB, and this is IA dash A and I dash A, and IA in middle. IB. Let hydraulic gradient at point A is 0, point A, O and B. A is here, O is here, and B is here. It says that at hydraulic gradient point A, O and B are IA, IO, and IB, and HB pressure head at O. This pressure head O. So I naught is equal to delta H over delta Z. That is I naught, delta H over delta Z, and IA is equal to I naught plus delta Z over delta I plus delta. So this is a formula development So what it says now, I will not go to this formula because it will take a lot of time. What ultimately it gains is that it gains it at end. What it says is that in result, coefficient of CV is coefficient of consolidation, that is K over gamma Y, gamma W and MB. M is coefficient of volume change, and this is if dryness takes place from upward downwards, then D is equal to half thickness of soil sample. But if dryness only from one side, then D is equal to thickness soil sample. Time factor is dimensional quantity. So where is answer to this? What I am actually finding out. This derivation of what? Derivation of theory of consolidation. Theory of consolidation, that is derivation, and equation of differential equation was devised, and so I am not going to do that detail. What I am going to tell you is value for time factors for double drainage, and this says so many CV is equal to K over CV is coefficient of consolidation, so K over gamma W into MV, where M is coefficient of volume change. I don't know why these people call for no use, means just to disturb, no meaning of calling. Now what I say now, then what actually this table gives, that I have to see. Now table value of time factor for double drainage, this is time factor, and then this is value of time factor for single drainage, and this is time factor plus percentage consolidation, and that is fixed ring container consolidation test in laboratory, that's different one. And then ultimately determination of coefficient of consolidation, that's available in square root of time plus consolidation, and here is logarithm of time fitting methods. So this is what it's saying, coefficient of consolidation development is. So the derivation of theory of consolidation ultimately gives us that is a formula that continues flow of water is vertical downwards. As flow of water is vertical downwards, it flows into element from upper layer across phase A and flows out of element to lower layers across phase B. Then rate of inflow of water at phase A is equal to QA, and then QB, and QA is equal to this equation and QB is equal to this equation, and then it says rate of change of water content of element QA minus QB, and that comes as some value in KZN like this, and volume of water is E over 1 plus E into V, and volume of solids is equal to Vs is equal to 1 plus 1 plus V into V. So VW is equal to VO, please, is dx dy dz, and rate of change of volume of water with respect to time, and that is this is dx dy dz over 1 plus E into delta E or delta T. Since volume of solid is a constant quantity, rate of change of water is Kz into this delta 2 H over delta H squared dx to Z. So one answer is actually pressure head at this point. What is applied pressure of this? Ultimately, what answer is coefficient of compressibility? Is equal to this is hence C is to this. Equation 1813 is differential equation for one-dimensional consolidation. The boundary conditions for one-dimensional consolidations can be explained as given below, and this explanation, hold on, and then I say alternatively, it's saying T is called time factor, that's equal to CUT over T square, where T is time interval in which percentage settlement occurs, and D is equal to maximum length of drainage path, that is D. So if drainage takes place from upwards and downwards, then D is equal to half thickness of soil sample, but if drainage is only from one side, then D is equal to thickness soil sample. So CV is coefficient of consolidation, that is CV, and CV is equal to K over gamma W into MV, where MV is coefficient of volume change. Coefficient of volume change is corresponding decrease in unit volume per unit increase of pressure. MV is equal to AV over 1 plus V, where CAV is equal to coefficient of compressibility, and that is AV, CV or AV is something wrong. MV is so this, and MV is coefficient of volume change. So coefficient of volume change is AV over 1 plus C, which is the coefficient of compressibility. So both these coefficients MV and AV are dimensionally inverse of a square, as volume of consolidation machine is proportional to thickness. So what ultimately we get is MV is equal to coefficient of compressibility, which is equal to 1 over H into delta H or delta P. So coefficient of compressibility AV is decrease in void space, void ratio per unit volume, and that is AV is equal to AV is equal to AV for compressibility. AV is decrease in void ratio, and that's E1 minus E2 over P2 minus P1. So this equation gives a relation between mu and T. Time factor, value of time factor T depends upon completion of double drainage. So what actually this is, we have to see 18 gives values of time factor T, value of time factor for double drainage, and value of time factor for single drainage. That is in this table. I'll just give you this one because derivation takes time. I'll do later on. Just for information purpose, I'm just saying value of time factor and double drainage, and that is from here. If you take this model which we are discussing, this is that model as I showed you before also. This is this model of consolidation, coefficient consolidation. So we are talking about this, and on this basis we are going to this conclusion that table 8, this value of time factor for double drainage, this is value of time factor for double drainage, value of time factor for double drainage, and this is given in this way, and this says that percentage consolidation, percent in consolidation, that is mu percentage, and this is represented by 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, like that, 50%. I'll give you next page also. So next page. So it's like that, time factor T, it is 10% consolidation is 0.008, 20% consolidation is 0.030, time factor 30% is more, and 40% is further more. And it is in next page, and it's also given here in next page. You may say on top of that, and this time factor is here. This is as time increases, then consolidation goes on increasing. As time increases, this is now it's increasing from 50%, that is 0.2, and ultimately 90% in 0.848, and 100% infinite, that is in that is time factor. This is called value of time factor for double drainage. This is time factor. In first column is percentage consolidation, that is mu percentages, and time factor T is giving, while other one is value of time factor for single drainage. In single drainage, this also starts from 10 and goes to 90, and in that it says at 0. You can see this table of single drainage. You can see that one. This is single drainage, U percentages, and that's time coefficient, and that is for example in 10% it says 0.047 time, and at 50 it says 0.294, and in between there is, for example, 20% is 0.1, 30% is 0.158, 40% is 0.22, 50% is 0.294, 60% 0.383, 70 is 0.55, 80 is 0.865, 90 is 0.940, and this is at 90%, when it is 90% for single drainage, then it is 0.94, and that is value of time factor for this consolidation. And if you see, next one is time factor T on x-axis, that is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like that. I use ordinary scale, and percent is consolidation percentages, and this is going from start 100 and goes upwards. So in beginning it's upwards is 0. I can see that curve here, so that we can understand very fast. Derivation formula later on, because it takes a lot of time. So this is fast here, reference only. You can see that this is a formula. It's a curve indicating that time factor T and percent is consolidation, and we think the graph between percent consolidation and time factor has been drawn utilizing data table for double drainage. This graph being shown and can be used for solving practical problems. In analysis of data, it is assumed that porous stones being used in laboratory sample boundaries are permeable in both directions. So if you say there is 10% consolidation according to this graph, that is somewhere in very beginning. When say if you go time factor, just the start, and when it says 20% is the further. Let us say, you can say, let us say about 20% time factor 0.2 is about 50, and if it says 50.5 time factor is about 70, and when it says 0.6 is about 75, and 70 say at 0.085, 80.085 is about 90%. This is what this table is telling you, and this is telling you when time is more, consolidation is more, when time is less, consolidation is less. So this is what it says. And consolidation test in laboratory, that we'll talk of. Just theory it is. So take up. Let me go for 1 minute to feed certain birds. I'll be back. Just a minute, please. I'll be back within a couple of minutes. Doing that, I put this off on that time. I'm back. I'll be back. Just a minute, please. here now. My dear friends, I am there with just another stance of talk. Long jalan. This time. What should I do? Alright guys, what to do, back again. Again to you, of course. I use my finger, no problem. Now again back to same talk. Of course, a little difficult. Yes, I got my finger a little. Fan touched my finger and I injured a little. No problem. What to do? So I can say I'm feeling pain, some pain, no problem at all. No problem. What to do now? Let's say I'll keep here rather than that. So this is, yeah, I'm not able to do that. So you can see that. Some injury on my finger, no problem. Consolidation test in laboratory. Consolidation test, you can say. Consolidation test in laboratory. Consolidation test is performed in laboratory by means of an apparatus which is known as consolidometer. Consolidometer. We do test consolidation by consolidation measure. That's in laboratory. And I forgot to take water. Let me take water first because I'm faint. This area I just sit comfortably. What can we do here? I don't know what to do. You can see the problem. Now, when I say consolidometer, consolidation test is performed in laboratory and by means of an apparatus which is known as consolidometer. Consolidation consists of loading frame and a container. There are two types of solid soil containers for use in consolidation test. They are fixed ring container and floating ring container. जाओ यार, मैं क्या करूं तुम्हारा? They are fixed ring container, fixed ring container and floating ring container, and this is, you can say, fixed ring and this is floating ring. I'll show you sketch the diagrams of both from books itself, and this is here, and this is, you can say, This is floating ring container. And I'll show you again later on, but now just have a look at that. This is what container is about. Let me see, this is not giving clear picture, so my hand is coming with that. No, we'll speak about this. This is very simple, I think. This is, in fixed ring container, there's a base, and on that base there's a soil sample within some container, and porous stone below, porous stone above, and cover. And there's a standpipe connected to porous stone. This is fixed ring container. And in floating ring there's a base, there's a soil, porous stone above and porous stone below, a cover and a container, and there is no pipe in this. So what we say now, fixed ring container, in this type of container, that is, all specimen movement relative to container is downward. All relative movement relative to, I will say, all movement related to container is downward. Soil sample is contained in a ring which rests on a porous stone on base. Due to loading as condition takes place, loading as consolidation affects, upper porous plate enters ring clearance. Say, due to loading as consolidation affects, upper porous plate enters ring clearance between ring and porous stone should be just sufficient to prevent friction and bending, but at same time small enough to keep soil squeezing out. This is sometimes also called Cassegrain consolidometer. I read it again. It says in this type, that's fixed ring container, and that is in this type container, all specimen movement relative to container is downward. Soil sample is contained in a ring which rests on his porous stone on base. Due to loading as consolidation takes place, upper porous plate enters the ring clearance between ring and porous stone should be just sufficient to prevent friction and bending, but at same time small enough to keep soil is squeezing out. This is sometimes called Cassegrain consolidometer. Floating ring container compression affects towards middle from both top and bottom. In floating ring container, soil is capped in a ring which is placed between two porous plate. Both plates may enter ring, thus permitting consolidation from both sides of sample. Minimum total clearance with both sides between porous plate and sample ring may be as little as 0.025 inch. 0.025 inch means 1 over 40. 0.051 inch is equal to 25.4 millimeter. So this is inches, 0.025, that is 25.4 millimeter I am saying, and this is 0.025 inch, which means this is 1 over 40th of an inch. So it's very thin, we can say, because 25 millimeter and it's less than 1 millimeter, maybe it's around 0.05 or 0.0457, whatever. millimeter to less 0.025 milli-inch. For floating ring container should not be used. Floating ring container should not be used with sand. Floating ring container should not be used with sand or very soft soil. Because sufficient adhesion is not developed between metal and sample to hold ring in place. So selection of container is based more on personal preference than on any important technical advantage. Technical advantage is what? Advantage direct you can say, and direct measurement of permeability of soil specimen at whatever stage of loading can be made only in fixed ring container, whereas floating ring container has advantage of having smaller effects of friction between ring and soil. Loading device. Now there are two important loading devices that are used for consolidometer. One is platform scale device and beam and loading yoke device. Now platform scale device. In this device, consolidometer rests on a platform scale. On a platform scale which continuously weighs load, which continuously weighs load applied to soil samples through a yoke controlled by means of a screw jack. Jack and yoke are means of applying load to soil, and amount of load is weighed by platform scale. Whatever friction in jack and yoke or yoke has no effect on load applied. Chief advantage of platform scale devices is simplicity and ease of operation. One person can apply desired load increment almost instantaneously, and that also without impact. Disadvantage of platform scale devices its size. If several consolidometers are to be used simultaneously, considerable space shall be required. Beam and loading yoke device. In this system, beam acts merely as a lever system to reduce weight required to obtain whatever desired load on yoke. Yoke is a device for applying axial load. Yoke is a device for applying axial load to specimen. Sometimes people do not use yoke, and load is applied directly from beam, which is located above consolidometer. It has been observed that such device does not transmit load axially, hence loading must be applied to consolidometer through yoke to ensure axial loading. In this method, load is applied instantaneously but with impact. Area occupied by this device is smaller than previous device. Loading device can apply steady vertical loads up to 8 to 10 kg per centimeter square to soil sample. Now procedure of experiment on consolidometer. So we have studied so far loading devices, platform scale device, beam and load yoke device, and before that we studied what is consolidometer, how it is. These are very simple. Now beam and loading yoke device. Okay. So procedure of experiment on consolidometer. Procedure of experiment of consolidometers. And before I'll show you the sketch here. I'm not saying sketch, I shall. It's a diagram, it's a prototype diagram. So you can see the this here and then it's the says a relationship between void ratio and pressure and value of coefficient of consolidation can be determined by performing experiment on consolidometer. That is relationship between void ratio and pressure and value of coefficient of consolidation. Uh, removing as well as removed as well as undisturbed soil samples can be used for experiment. Remolded as well as undisturbed soil samples can be used after compacting soil to desired level. Undisturbed soil samples are taken out from undisturbed block of soil carried from site in undisturbed state at least 10 cm diameter. Now a trained soil sample, trained soil sample suitable to size of consolidometer by means of a cutter from undisturbed block of soil, which had been collected from field. Soil strata should be oriented in same direction in consolidation. Apparatus as they were in nature. Laboratory test should compress soil normally in same direction relative to soil strata as applied load in field. B. Place cut specimen of soil in container of consolidometer using greatest care. So place cut specimen of soil in container of consolidometer with greatest care to ensure as near as perfect fit as possible. Soil specimen can be lowered into containers by pressing a small knob. Place on top of cutter. Before keeping soil specimen in container, bottom porous plate must be soaked in water. So this is now is the instrument, that is valve gauge. There is a loading device. There is a steel ball, and then there are plates, porous stone, and then soil, and then porous stone, and then there is a container helm. And one end is drainage, other is consolidometer. So see, it's a play. Let me see you again so that you see these names there. I told you again. Now place top porous plate and cover on soil specimen. Mount container with soil sample in loading unit. Raise water level and allow soil to be saturated. Saturate. Now screw holder with vertical dial. Screw holder with vertical dial gauge. And adjust. It's such a way that dial is in compressed state. This figure shows full view of consolidation machine inclusive of container, soil specimen, loading device, dial gauge for measurement of settlement. Loading is transmitted through a steel ball to ensure verticality. Note down initial reading of dial gauge. Apply loads to give a desired pressure, intensity, say half kilogram per square centimeter on soil specimen. Start stop clock simultaneously and start taking readings of dial gauge at following time intervals: 1/4, 1, 2 quarter, 6 quarter, 9, 16, 25, 36, 39, 64, 60, 81, 100, 121, 141 minutes, and so on, so that square root is a full number. Square root is full number. I see. In this way, continue taking readings till consolidation is completed. Test should be continued up to end of 24 hours. So 1/4, 1, 2/4, and 6/4, then 9, then 16, 25, 36, like that. So 10 and then the 11, 21 first, like that. So 1/4 is 1, is it? No, it's not. It's just made 1. This is not 1/4 1. Then it's also, so up to here it's okay. 6 1 also is not. 6 25, 22 1. I think it's 150. 625. So it's 2.5 actually. Find 1/4 is time you can say. Show how it's 1. 4 was 1. No, it's only 4 here. 1 it says 1. 1 to 5. That is 1. Next one. So in next one, find 5 is 1, I think. So 1 is half. 1 is half. Now it's 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So 0.25, sometimes 4. It's okay, 1 point per group. And if one square is 1, then how can say 2.5, 2.25, and 20.1, so all else, okay, fine. Where there should be continued up to end of 24 hours. Now, load can be increased, say 1 kilogram per centimeter square, and reading can be taken in same manner and continues up to 24 hours. Thus, readings at 6 or 7 loads can be taken. After that, loads can be decreased and dial gauge readings may be noted. There will be some swelling due to decrease in load throughout experiment. Saturation of soil sample should always be done. Initial moisture content and final moisture content of soil sample must be noted and by rate of soil samples should be taken. So now you go further. That is here. What it's saying is calculations of wide ratio. Calculation of wide ratio. Final wide ratio at end of each pressure can be determined by of these two methods: the height of solids method and change in wide ratio method. Height in solid methods and change in wide ratio method. Height of solids. This method is used for saturated as well as unsaturated soil samples. Height H of solids. Height H of solids. Height H of solids of soil specimen can be determined by following formula. HS is height of solids in centimeter. WD is weight of dry soil of specimen in gram. G is specific area of soil. A is cross-section area of soil sample in centimeter square. So wide ratio can be found, that is A proportional to H minus HS over HS. H is height of specimen in centimeters, and that is H. not minus sum of delta H. H naught HO is equal to initial height of specimen and delta H is equal to change in thickness of specimen under pressure increment. Change in thickness can be found from dial gauge reading after knowing void ratios or different pressures. Void ratio pressure diagram can be calculated. Height can be spent for cables routing wide ratio was wide. So change in thickness can be found from dial gauge readings after knowing void ratios for different pressures. Void ratio pressure diagram be calculated. Height can be used for calculating void ratio because area of antenna is constant. Change void ratio method. This was height of solid methods, and other one is change in void ratio method. This method is used only for fully saturated soils. Previous was for both. This is for saturated soil. What is this here? Hold on 1 minute. Let me just straight out. I could not do this. This method is used only for fully saturated soils. Let me come this way. Final void ratio at end of test can be found from following equations. E1 is equal to W1G, where W1 is equal to final moisture content at end of test. Change void ratio delta E under which pressure increment can be determined from following equation. That is delta E over 1 plus E is equal to delta H over H. So delta E is equal to 1 plus E1 delta H over H1, where H1 final height of soil sample at end of experiment. As initial void ratio is known, hence final void ratio under any pressure increment can be found after calculating value of E. This is a graph which is time under root in minute and daily gauge readings. This is 0 to 8 or something, is a time under root in minutes, time under root, and this is 100 to 600 dial gauge reading, and we are going to get theoretical curve running that value. Here there is main diagram. Determination of coefficient of consolidation. There are two important methods for determination of value of coefficient of consolidation after experiments has been performed on soil sample laboratory. One is square root of times fitting method, logarithm of time fitting methods. Let me know what 11. So this is the R1, I think. This is theoretical curve, and this point D here. Now let us say this is a curve. Let me see this curve first. This is time versus reading. It says time under root works in minutes and dial gauge reading, and on this basis this you can say time under root is 0 to 8 minutes. This means and dial gauge reading is 100 to 600. This means initial stage of time, that is higher value, let us say 600, and then if we go to 1 under root of time, we get down 300, and it's gradually down at 3, down, and then at 6, let us say it's completely down. So curve OC, OD, E, this is theoretical curve, and there is then DA and B is theoretical curve. Now what it says? It says the square root of time fitting method and logarithm of time fitting methods. There are two methods. Square root of time root. These are important. One, प्रिया नुत्रा जैन शेराम, आज का बुधवार गणेश जी की कृपा से मंगलमय हो, प्रार्थना का साथ, सुप्रभात। Thanks. Now, the square root time method is, you can say, if graph drawn between time factor and degree of consolidation, it will be found that up to 60% of total consolidation, curve is a straight line. Up to 60% of total consolidation, curve is a straight line, and abscissa at 90% consolidation, is equal to 1.15 times abscissa at 60% consolidation. What? on this principle, Taylor has devised an empirical method to determine coefficient of consolidation directly from compression dial gauge readings taken at various times intervals under different increments of loads, compare favorably in accuracy while estimating settlement. In square root time reading methods, dial gauge readings for each increment of loads are plotted as ordinate against the square root of corresponding time interval. Shows a typical curve. Initial dial gauge reading is 0, denotes that degree of consolidation which is 0 and time is 0. It can be seen that early portion of curve is essentially a straight line 0C, which is called corrected zero reading. It is called corrected zero reading. Another time B is drawn from point O in such a way that its abscissa at early point. Its abscissa at early point. Alright, so we say that B is drawn from point OC in such a way that its abscissa at each point is 1.15 times that of line A. Intersection of second line B and level to curve for under root time gives it point A, which corresponds to alright, 90% consolidation. I read it again because it's important. Says another line B is drawn from point O. Point O in such a way that its abscissa at each point is 1.15 that of line A. Intersection of second line B and level 3 curve for this point. So let us see how it is. If it says this abscissa, if you see it's drawn here, so 1.15 times. Another line B is drawn from point OC. Point OC in such a way that its abscissa at each point is 1.15 times that of line A. At intersection of second line, line B, and laboratory curve for this line gives a point D which corresponds to 90% consolidation. Its time value is determined from so it's 1.15 times of line A. Intersection of second line B and laboratory curve for 100 time gives a point D which corresponds to 90% consolidation. Under root T90, its time value is determined from curve and this one. Its time value is determined from curve and this point. Hold on. Let me see what it says. Now let's move and see how it works. It says that another line, intersection of second line B and laboratory curve or under root time gives a point D which corresponds to 90% consolidation. Under root T90, its time varies determined from curve and points. Besides, designated as T90 can be now using equation. It is the time factor is T is equal to CV D or D square. Value of CV can be determined for 90% consolidation. Value of time factor T is equal to 0.8. And C is equal to 0.848 D square. Then we say kinetic consolidation value of time factor T is equal to 0.848. That is CV is equal to 8.848. This curve T90. So after knowing the value of T90. Now CV is equal to 0.848 D square over 90 T90. So after knowing value of T90 from graph, value of CV can be found as value of drainage properties. Logarithmic time fitting methods. Lesson number 1, log of time fitting methods. Let me relax. Stretch my legs. So body is jammed here. Logarithm of time fitting method. Sorry. And Cassegranular suggested this method in 1939, which compression dial gauge reading is plotted against logarithmic of time in minutes, and smooth curve is derived. Schedule is drawn. Smooth curve is drawn. Two straight portions of curve are then extended to intersect at point D. Two straight portions of curve are then drawn ordinate at this point gives point of 100% completion. Now say that you may say I am down. No, I am not down. Two straight line, let us show you this one first. This is Cassegranular. Pencil this point D and B here. This is R1. So this we are talking of, and it says just there's a curve here, that is dial gauge reading in log and minutes, and we have to get point D as shown and then draw horizontal to that one, and that point is 100% conservation. And then with that point which we got here from this taken up, you get 50% conservation. So two straight portions of curve are then extended to intersect at point D. Ordinate of this point gives point of 100% consolidation. Count corrected zero reading in curve is obtained. 0C slash on assumption that curve portion in the beginning of graph when you log is a variable. The time given is equal to 1 minute. Now let's say corrected zero reading in curve C is obtained on an assumption that curved portion in the beginning of graph obtained on assumption that curved portion in beginning of graph on semi-lotus parabola time t1 equal to 1 minute is chosen and it corresponds to point A. Is marked t1 equal to 1 minute is chosen and is corresponding to point A is marked on curve, and the point or is chosen on curve. You know that its corresponding time is EMF 1 or 2. Let's be vertical height. Let x be vertical height of between 0 or O and A. Okay. Draw a point OC at a vertical height about O. Let x be vertical height of O and A. Draw a point O at vertical height x above O. Coordinate corresponding to this point is also corrected 0 reading OC. 50% consolidation point is halfway. It will correct 0 reading and 100% consolidation current point. 50% consolidation points halfway between correct 0 reading and 0C and 100% consolidation point. Time to time 50 can be read from x-axis where degree of consolidation is 50%, then time factors can be 0.197. What I can say, it fell. What may I do? Fell, no problem. Fell. तुम्हें गिरना ही है, गिरो. सबको गिरना है, गिरो. क्या करेगा कोई? So it's done. Its time T50 can be read from this axis, x-axis. The degree of consolidation is 50%. Time factors T is equal to 0.197 d square over 3. There are numericals and linear numericals. We'll do later on. We'll say shear strength of soil. Next one. Shear strength of soil, also very important point. Shear strength of soil. Shear strength of soil. What is that? Shear strength of soil. I shift to next one, I think 6 o'clock. It's time, just leave this and we should shift over to a document. You say, shear strength of soil is one of the most important engineering property of soil. Design of foundation, determination of bearing capacity, study of stability of slopes can be done only after knowing shear strength of soil. Shear strength of soil can be defined as resistance to deformation by continuous shear displacement of soil particles. Shear strength of soil depends mainly upon two components, frictional resistance and cohesion. I repeat, shear strength of soil is one of the most important engineering property of soil. Design of foundation, determination of bearing capacity, study of stability of slopes can be done only after knowing shear strength of soil. Shear strength of soil can be defined as resistance to deformation by Resistance to deformation by continuous shear displacement of soil particles. Shear strength of soil depends mainly upon two components: frictional resistance and cohesion. So let us go more further on this, and we'll say about thing what is saying gun when soil chill, what is saying Wednesday sweet as you is saying I don't know. Go yaar. Yeah, people like that. Let's open file now. After long gap, I am going to open this file. This is a sub-geotechnical report, and this is also FedEx 2017. Same time I open. FedEx 2017. Open and let me try if I can directly go to screen share, or I have to change this. That's important. Now let's see how this is working. Before that, I take some water. It's better before going into that, because I have this red point. You can see on finger. I got this injury. Finger injured, so I'm in pain. I'm getting this pain actually. Finger injured. Put one fan off for time being. So let me try if I can do or cannot do. Let me try it goes off limit. Let's see, I'm entering it. Oh, it's banned. Oh no, it's not allowed. So I had to stop video here. I hope I will stop video here. That's the only way in this case. So let me stop it and restart. So. Well, let me first use file and name it again, because I have to. Problem is takes time, It takes time, lot of time. Takes so better. Let me adjust first before changing this. It's going down. It's no move fast here. Why it takes so much time? Save, and this is I make another one on today's date. I had to make another one, and there is here. Hold on. Not like this. No, it's like that. It's third, so I put there third. No, it's not third, not two. So it's there two, and this is A. Actually, A. You can say this is A, and that is. Alright, so it's done. So now, sorry, I will just copy. How can I copy that? It's still not there. Yeah, problem here. How I can tell them? It's not getting in document share directly. It's not taking. I can't use time like this. Okay, put up this video better. Alright, I'm closing this video. Let us close. No other way out. Let it take time, but no